In the glories of the human form, Srimad Bhagavatam has glorified in countless such places in the Srimad Bhagavatam on how valuable this human form is. In Canto 11, chapter 9, text 29, there is a very, very beautiful verse. In fact, it is very significant to start the discussion with this verse because Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, every time he would chant this verse, Canto 11, chapter 9, text 29. Please put an asterisk, that's a memorization verse. It's a must. It's a must-know verse. 11, Canto 11, chapter 9, text 29. It's a very good homework to start the class with. The point that we are making through that verse is that Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, every time he would quote this verse, tears would stream from his eyes. Doesn't matter where the context is. Even if he's at Radhakund, not speaking about Radharani, but speaking about this verse on the rarity of the human form of life, he would have tears streaming down. Torrents, his eyes were almost like clouds, showering tears of compassion. Why? What does the verse mean? Labdva sudurlabhamidam bahu sambhavante manusyamarthadamanityamapi hadhira turnam yatetanapate tanumrutyu yavat nishreyasaya vishaya khalu sarvatasyat. Srimad Bhagavatam describes in the context of the human form. Labdva. We have all obtained it. Labdva. Coming from the root word, as in Hindi we say labh. Labha means profit. Something that you've earned, you've put in hard work and got profit out. That's labdva. We've received. What have we received? Sudurlabham. Labha means to obtain. Durlabha means difficult to obtain. Sudurlabha means very difficult to obtain. We have obtained something which is very difficult to obtain. Labdhva. Sudurlabham idam. Idam means this form. Bahu sambhavante. Sambhava means birth. Ante means at the end. Bahu means repeated. At the end of repeated transmigration of birth, old age, disease, death. Birth, old age, disease, death. Birth, old age, disease, death. Labdhva. We have attained this human form in which we are all residing. The house of the human form that we are all sitting in. Labdhva. We have obtained it. Sudurlabha. It's very difficult. Bahu sambhavante. After lifetimes, after lifetimes, after lifetimes of hard work and transmigrations and reincarnations, we have attained it. Manushyam. This human form. Next line. Manushyam arthadam. What does the word anartha mean? Something that's useless. Anartha means that which is useless. Anartha. So artha means that which is useful. Arthadam. This body is not just useful in itself, but it is capable enough of achieving, jumping like a dwarf and catching the moon of Krishna Prem, which no other form can. The deer can't. The elephants can't. The snakes cannot. The trees cannot. The insects cannot. The reptiles cannot. In Atlanta, I visited an aquarium. You know, one devotee told me, let's go to the Georgia aquarium. I said, okay, let's go. And there we could see practically, Yare yaiche nachaite taiche kare nritya. The way the person was orchestrating, the dolphins are jumping. And if you ask those dolphins, what is the purpose of your life? What are they even getting? They're jumping in the air, pushing a ball up in the air, and to the symphony of the music, they're all dancing and moving backwards and forward. What is the purpose of all this? The person orchestrating is making money, but these foolish dolphins don't gain anything. Maybe just some piece of some ahara, nidra bhaya maitunam, that's all. But we in this human form can look upwards and see there is a source for all that exists. Arthadam, this form alone can catch that form. That is Shri Krishna in the heart. No other form can. Well, why do we say no other form? Well, in the hell we can. No, you can't, because it's so painful and so torturous that we have no time to chant there. They're ripping us through blades of suffering. Dogs and wolves and jackals and hyenas are ripping us apart while being alive. And the body is described in the Bhagavatam. You don't die so easily. Those dogs are biting us into our flesh, chewing into our body. And there's so much pain that you can't even think of chanting. Somebody who's a poverty-stricken beggar under the bridge in Mumbai, you tell him to chant Hare Krishna, he will say, wait a minute, bhajan later, bhojan first. I'm not even getting my food. Same is the case in hell. First you relieve me out of pain. We'll worry about the Creator later. And interestingly, when we go up in the heavenly planetary systems, there's so much pleasure that you don't see a need to approach the source of all happiness. There's so much right here. There is no dukhalayam. Vishwam purna sukhayate. It is peaceful. Why should I even endeavor for anything else? So in hell, there is so much suffering that we won't chant Hare Krishna. And in heaven, there is so much pleasure that we don't need to chant Hare Krishna. At least that's what we would think. But here in Bhumandala, we are so blessed. And that too, human form in Bhumandala in Kali. This is the rare fortune that even Brahma does Ashwamedha Yajna to receive. Because they are stuck with Apsaras and Gandharvas and Siddhas and Charanas and Kinnaras and Kimpurushas and Vidyadharas. That the desire to be here with like-minded devotees, not just get a human form, not just a human form on Bhumandala, not just a human form in Bhumandala in the age of Kali when things are easy, but sitting in the association of all those around us who have evolved as much as we have. When we look around, when we see a person having a human form, he has worked very hard. He has gone through 900,000 times into the aquatic species. It's not one form in the aquatics and then one form in the trees and one form in the birds and one form in the insects and Eureka, here we are in the human form. No. It's very difficult. You have to become a seahorse. You have to become a starfish. And you have to become these. It's torturous. When you go to these fish aquariums, you see different varieties. And people are taking pictures. And I once went through that. And I looked. I can't believe I have been that fish who's like transparent in that water, who's stuck in that water tank. He has nowhere to go. People are flashing their iPhone flashes into that water and taking pictures. And you can't even tell them no. They have to live there, they have to die there, and guess what? Another form into the same fish tank. Arthadam. This human form is the only form where we can jump and catch Krishna in our heart and get prema, love for him. And the next word is anityam. It is such a gift given by the Supreme Lord, you never know when it's going to be taken away. Anityam. And we're not just making it up. One relative of mine, here in Sydney, 31 years old, just a couple of months ago, gets into a restaurant, eats what he has to, pays the bill, comes out, massive heart attack on the sidewalk, on the footpath, collapses, gone. My family. I was at Gold Coast Airport and they were flashing in the lounge on the television. Some boy, some actor, some 20-year-old boy in some movie. I don't know who he was. That was the first time I was seeing his face. But someone, the point is, some actor, somewhere, 20-year-old passes away, heart attack. I have lost 2 friends of mine I'm 27. I've already lost 2 friends of mine whom I grew up with. 24-year-old running on a treadmill, heart attack, gone. 21-year-old on the day of his birthday went to Goa on the beach in India with his friends. He was going somewhere. The bike hits, head-on collision. He has his glasses, he has his iPhone. The iPhone slips out, his glasses slip out. Guess what? There's no crack on the screen of the iPhone. There is no crack on his glasses. Whomever the messengers of Yamaduta or Vishnuduta had to take, they just took the soul away, everything else remained still. 21 years old. What do you tell their parents? Kamala jaladala jeevana talamala bhajahu haripada nitire. It's like a bubble. Human form is like a bubble. It's like the trickling down of a water droplet on the leaf of a lotus flower in a pond. You never know when it's going to trickle down and gone. We may take it for granted. Ahani ahani bhutani gacchanti yama mandiram sesha sthavaram icchanti kim ashcharyam ataha param. Srila Prabhupada would quote this. Yudhishthir Maharaj is saying, what is the most astonishing thing in this world? Ahani ahani bhutani gacchanti yama mandiram. People around us are all going to Yama Mandiram, the temple of Yamaraj. Ahani ahani, slowly every day. But those remaining, sheshaha, sthavaram icchanti. They think it's happening to him, it won't happen to me. Kim ashcharyam ataha param. What can be more astonishingly surprising than this, says Yudhishthir Maharaj. So in the verse that we are analyzing in this context, 11:9:29, labdhvasu durlabham idam bahu sambhavante, getting this human form after millions and millions of reincarnations, manushyam arthadam anityam. It's temporary and it's capable of catching the ultimate fruit of our existence. So what should a person do? Dhira? Turnam. Quickly, without a delay. Turnam yateta, he should endeavor. Till when should he endeavor? Na patet. Till the time his body doesn't fall to the ground. Till then he must endeavor. Anumrityu yavat, so that there is no more mrityu again. And what should he endeavor for? Nishreyasa, ultimate benefit. Why? Vishaya khalu sarvatasyat. Vishaya, or sense gratification, khalu, indeed sarvatah syat. It is there everywhere in all species. If he takes this human form to do what he did as a pig, what is he gaining? And Saraswati Thakur, when he would quote these words, he would weep. And he would tell his disciples, please wake up. Uttishtata, jagrata, prapya varanni bhavodata. Please wake up, oh arise, oh dear disciples. Saraswati Thakur would bleed like this in compassion. So this is what we have attained and achieved. In Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instructions to Rupa Goswami, this point has been hammered again and again and again. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives a hierarchy of how many living beings are there. And slowly but surely and gradually, how the human form is very rare. Look at all of us. Materially fit, eyes, hands, legs, ears, materially, physically sound, mentally sound, emotionally sound. Krishna has given us parents, Krishna has given us a family, Krishna has given us children, Krishna has given, a bigger family in the form of ISKCON. Everything is perfect, financially, economically sound. What is the thing that we are lacking? Physically we are fit, materially we are fit, emotionally we are fit, financially we are fit, we have things to eat, we have a shelter, a roof, we have clothes. What else are we waiting for? We have everything on our plate just to fuel ourselves towards Krishna. But if we are going to stick there like a snail, exploiting our circumstance, not looking at where we have to go, dharmena hina pashubhi samana. Two-legged animal, says Prabhupada. Again and again. This is the same theme in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Another reference. Nridehamadhyam sulabham sudurlabham plavam sukalpam kuru karnadharam mayanukule nanabhasvateritam puman bhavabdhim natarets atmaha. 11:20-17 Bhagavatam. Another reference. Canto 11, chapter 20, text 17. What does this say? Nridehamadhyam sulabham sudurlabham. Aha. This human form, which is so rare to attain, has been attained. On a board of snakes and ladder, we have reached 98. We don't have to worry about earning a human form from being an ant. If you just look behind and see how much we have traveled on the sojourn, on the journey of the soul, it's amazing. We are all on the 98 of the snakes and ladder. Guess what? 99 is the snake of sense gratification, which brings us down to 7. While 100 is back home, back to Godhead. So when you play snakes and ladder, now you want to move your dice. You don't want a 1. You want a 2. Exactly. You want a 2. You exactly want a 2. You don't want a 3. You don't want a 4. You don't want a 5. You don't want a 6. And you definitely don't want 1. But the point is, we are all moving our dice with the desire, I wish I get 1. This is what we want. This body has been given to serve Krishna so that the soul goes back to Krishna, but we want to take this body and serve the mind. So this verse, 11:20-17 says, this human form is like a ship. And we are like passengers on that ship. We are seated on that ship. Look, we are here. The ocean of birth and death is the water around us. Suffering, dukhalayam, ashashvatam is the water around us. We are the passenger. The human form is the ship. The spiritual master is the captain who's steering the ship. And the words of Srimad Bhagavatam are favorable winds. Still, if a person doesn't cross this ocean, na taret sa atmaha, he's a gone case, says Srimad Bhagavatam. Total nonsense. Atmaha, says Bhagavatam. He's committing suicide, spiritual suicide. He's taking this form. He has a spiritual master. He had Srimad Bhagavatam. And still he's not crossing this ocean. Who can sing his glories? In a sarcastic way. He's making all endeavor possible to destroy himself. Prahlad Maharaj, same instruction. Let's come to 7th canto. 761 onwards. Kaumaram macharet prajno dharman bhagavataniha durlabham manusham deham tadapi arthadamadruvam. Prahlad Maharaj says, Durlabham manusham deham. Oh, this form is very, very durlabham. They are all speaking the truth. They are speaking for our benefit. We won't believe around. If someone around tells us this form is very rare, theek hai. Atishayokti. Over-exaggeration. But Prahlad is speaking. He is the one who was fearless in front of Narasimhadev. Imagine as I'm speaking, if this pillar starts shaking and cracking, who would have the audacity to stand in front of him and speak the truth? That same person, that same Prahlad, who could speak in front of Narasimhadev is speaking to us. Durlabham manusham deham. This form is very, very rare. Oh Kali Jivas, this is very rare. And tadapi, arthadam, it can give you Krishna, but adruvam, anityam, it can be taken away any time. Please use it. And therefore, what is his advice? Kaumaram macharet prajno dharman bhagavataniha. Like all the Melbourne Mahaprabhu Mandir bacha log. All the Kishore Kishori sitting here. Like them, Kaumaram, start as soon as you're born. Put tilak and continue, begin. Start marching, be a soldier. As Jesus says in the Bible, I accept you either hot or cold, but if you're lukewarm, I spit you out. So either we are cold, which means hardcore Melbourne residents, outside, full-on sense gratification, or hot, full-on Krishna conscious. We have a goal, we have a commander-in-chief, we have the process. What are we waiting for? Why is laziness catching our feet? Why the laziness crocodile is catching the Gajendra of our bhakti? Why is it happening? And even if he's doing, why are we not calling out to Krishna? Why is the Gajendra of our devotion life enjoying the chewing bite of the crocodile? Kat thoda idhar bhi. Little here also, little here also. You missed little here, please. We are inspiring the crocodile. Bite. But this human form is time. Athato Brahma Jignasa, it's now. The need is urgent, enormous. And the time is now. It's not tomorrow. In Hindi, it's aaj kare so kal kare so parso. What you have to do today, you do for tomorrow. What you have to do for tomorrow, day after tomorrow. Procrastination. But no, Krishna consciousness is not that. Kal kare so aaj kar. Aaj kare so ab. Now is the time to become Krishna conscious. What is the time, by the way? No, it's time to inquire about Krishna. It's time to make advancement. It's time to pull up our socks and march and get wounded as soldiers. Soldiers are fighting. They are ready to take the bullets on their chest, but they will fight. We want to be like that in the army of Srila Prabhupada. We want to fight. Janma sarthaka kari, first of all ourselves, and then para upakar. So this has been the theme throughout the Srimad Bhagavatam, the rarity of the human form. 5th canto, Rishabdev Maharaj tells his 100 sons, the same principle. The body is very rare, human form is very rare, please endeavor. 11th canto, let's come to canto 11 again. 11:2:29. Durlabham manusham deham dehinam kshanabhangura tatrapi durlabham manye vaikuntha priyadarshanam. Durlabham manusham deham. Now by now we know the terms. And dehinam kshanabhangura. It can be destroyed at any point. Same point. The Puranas actually give a very interesting example. The Puranas give an example that there is a very big ocean. Very, very big ocean. And in that whole ocean, there's only one turtle. On the base of the ocean. It can literally touch the bed of the ocean. And on the surface of the ocean somewhere, there's a wooden plank. A small wooden plank with a hole in the center. Small wooden plank with a small hole. One turtle somewhere, one wooden plank somewhere, and a very big ocean. What would be the probability that the turtle puts his head up and comes through the hole of that wooden plank? It's impossible. It's such a big ocean, such a vast ocean. But the Puranas say that is possible, but getting a human form is impossible. How difficult is it to get into the IITs in India? How difficult is it to get into the IIMs in India? How difficult is it to get into the MITs of Massachusetts, or Harvard, or Stanford, or Princeton, or any of these schools? We say it's very difficult. How difficult is it to become the president of America? Oh, very difficult. Guess what? All of this put together, someone from IIT, with an IIM, going to Harvard, and then becoming a president of America, is all combinedly possible, but getting a human form is impossible. That is what we have achieved. Every second in this is gold. And that's when we oversleep, we chit-chat, we waste our time in everything that is pratikul, unfavorable. So it's time to decide. Human form, sharp sword of discrimination, what is good, what is bad. What is bad, I give up. What is good, I chase. Now the point is, Prabhupada is asking this question and mentioning the answer also. What is the best thing to do in this human form? Well, it is to get Krishna. That's the best thing. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was speaking to Ramananda Rai in Madhya Leela Chaitanya Charitamrit, he asks Ramananda Rai, who is the most intelligent person in the whole creation? Who is the most intelligent person? And we would say, well, someone with a PhD, someone with a postdoc. Ramananda Rai says, Krishna Bhakta ei bada chatur. The most intelligent person is he who is a pure devotee of Krishna. Somebody would say, why and how? How can you understand this? Well, please tell me, if there is someone who invests $50 in a business and makes 50 million out of it, you think he's intelligent? Very intelligent, right? Business mind. Business mind. You put $50 in and you get 50 million out. Very intelligent. Imagine spring water available everywhere, but there's someone who packages it and starts selling it for $10 a bottle. He's making millions. Is he intelligent? Yes, of course, because he got a thought which no one else got. It's available, but he was the one who thought about it. Guess what? What is this human form? 3 things. Filled with suffering. Sharira avidya jal. Filled with suffering. Second, temporary. And third, filled with avidya, or no knowledge. And who is Krishna? Exact opposite. The body is temporary, he is eternal. It is filled with suffering, he is filled with happiness. This is filled with darkness of ignorance, he is filled with knowledge. If we can use this as the minimum input to get that as the maximum output, such an intelligent businessman. If we can use something that is temporarily available and which has exact 3 opposite qualities to what Krishna has, and if he can put this as the input and get Krishna as the output forever, and bind Krishna in his heart, he's very intelligent. In 60 years of his life, he did work for eternity. Therefore, Krishna Bhakta ei bada chatur. Very, very intelligent. The process of devotion is the process to catch him. There are